What is up, you guys? I'm gonna have a quick install video. I have no idea what I'm doing, so this is not gonna be a walkthrough. It's kind of just finding our way on how to do this, so we'll be experiencing this together. So yeah, I have no idea, but if you haven't already noticed, I'm gonna be installing those inside the FRS. So I actually got these seats from Edmonton, same time I got my wheels. I picked it up from a guy named Charlie. So shout outs to Charlie. He hooked me up with the BRIDES seats. Some people call it BRIDES, some people call it BRIDES. I just call it what the Japanese call it. I mean, that is their company, so I'm gonna call it BRIDES. So these are the BRIDES Zeta 3s. I butchered the how to pronounce that, but unfortunately I wasn't able to buy a set of rails, and they are super expensive. They're about $400 plus tax Canadian. So I ended up going to Banff and buying a set of OEM rails, and then obviously the OEM rails are bottom mounted, so I had to go look for side mounts, and luckily a local seller was able to sell me some Street Faction ones. Shout outs again to Infamous. Thanks for the hookup, dude. So I was able to use his side mounts. They used to be in one piece. I did cut them off just so I can use them, just because lining it up here to his with as a full piece that goes through the whole thing wasn't lining up, so I couldn't put in where I wanted it to mount. So by cutting it in 4 pieces like this, I'm gonna be able to put it all together. So let's see how that goes, because hopefully everything works out. Obviously, I'm not in the garage anymore. I actually finished putting the seats in super late. I started at 9:45 p.m. around there, right before 10, and I finished around 1:30 a.m. It took quite a while. It took a lot of fabricating, but I finally got it in, and I'm pretty happy with the results, considering it only cost me about $60 for the material. With the rails and the mounts, in total only cost me $60. Would I do it again? No, definitely not. If I were to give advice to someone trying to do this, I would 100% tell you to buy the authentic BRIDES rails, and I would never do that again. So let's go see how exactly I mounted it. Again, like I said, I am pretty happy with the results, but I would never do this again, honestly. So here are the seats. You can see I have the OEM rails put on, bolted through. I did have run into trouble with this guy. As you can see, the other bolts were E10 sockets, or E10 bolts. Managed to find a replacement. It was actually stripped, so the E10 was actually super stripped on one of the sides, and I ended up having to replace it with a 14. It took me 2 hours trying to get that one out because it was stripped. What I ended up doing was going down a size, so I tried first 8mm socket. I heard the socket in and tried to twist it, still wouldn't work. I ended up going down 2 sizes, 6mm, before it finally hooked in. It finally hooked into the socket, and I was able to break it free. So that was, first of all, the first pain that I had to deal with. These mounts, I am using the authentic BRIDES hardware, so those bolts are from BRIDE, and I was able to utilize them with the mounts. Again, thanks to Jesse for coming through with these mounts for me. Now as you can see on this side, the mounts are facing this way, so it goes in like through here and out. On the other side, it's the opposite. So the mounts are from the outside here. Alright, so from the outside here, it goes in. And the only reason I did that was because the seat is actually too narrow. So I tried it 3 or 4 different ways, with this facing this way and the side doing the same thing. Would not fit, it was too narrow. And then I did the other side this way, mounting the seat this way, and then using the mounts that way, and it was not working. So I ended up doing again the mounts facing the L shape, facing this way for one side, and the other side is facing the other way, so that it could fit the seat. It's not completely perfect, but it is safely mounted. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now for the seat belts, these are the OEM seat belts that I'm using. It is mounted to the bolt. Let's see here, to this bolt right here. So you can see the bolt, it's mounted through there, and then I just have it running down through the back and into the bottom of the seat. So that's how the BRIDE seats were able to mount onto the car. This is actually super close to the door. It doesn't contact the door, so it won't be damaging this over time, so I'm pretty happy about that. It was able to fit in, so no worries there. The seat is perfectly in place, and I love them so far. They completely hug me, and it's an amazing seat. I'm super happy with the purchase. Again, thank you to Charlie for allowing me to buy these off you for a decent price, and then for Jesse for allowing me to get these mounts, and I at Banff that sold me the rails for super cheap. He sold it to me for 30 bucks. So super happy with that, super happy with the results. Would not do it again. Would not go through this whole shenanigans again though.